when I saw those people on the streets protesting that this was indeed a golden opportunity for the United States and us to take action. We need to give full support to the Americans and Israel in this cleansing operation to rid the world of one of the most grotesque, repellent regimes on the face of the earth.
Well, British planes, we know, have been in the sky in the Middle East as part of a defensive operation to protect the people, interests and allies in the region, the Prime Minister has said. Sir Keir Starmer wants to see peace and security in the Middle East and the protection of civilian life, and has backed Donald Trump in the idea of regime change. But should the UK be even more involved? Let's speak now to the former Defence Minister, Sir Gerald Howarth. Good morning to you, Sir Gerald.
Morning, Carolyn.
Obviously, you know, you've seen conflicts like this and UK interventions before. You were a defence minister, weren't you, in 2011 during the intervention in Libya? So you have been there and done that. But I wonder what you think about the fact that we now have a whole region engulfed in this turmoil. It's an enormous gamble by Donald Trump. Do you think he can succeed where past presidents have failed, and in his attempt to reshape the Middle East using military force, which is what he's trying to do?
Well, you're absolutely right. It is a gamble, but it's been on the cards now for the best part of 10 years. This is one of the most evil regimes in the world. It has been responsible, as we have seen on our television screens in recent weeks, the most brutal suppression of its own people. And the Persians, of course, are some of the most civilized people on earth. And to see them treated in this brutal fashion by this repulsive regime has itself been absolutely disgusting. Secondly, of course, they have been responsible for the destabilization of the Middle East since this regime came into being. They have funded, I believe, to the extent of something like $16 billion in recent years, their proxy terrorist groups, Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis, who have wrought so much damage, so much instability. And I disagree with those who say that that people living in the Gulf have thought what a wonderful safe haven this is. When I visited there as Minister for International Security Strategy, I was very aware of how concerned people were there about this terrorist monolith on the other side of the Persian Gulf, and how they felt that they were potentially at risk.
You know, the whole region, yes, is now engulfed. It's certainly true. Sorry, make your third point.
So the third point, of course, is they have been pursuing this nuclear program. I received a classified briefing when I was the minister, and from the head of Defence Intelligence. And at the end of it, I said, well, why on earth are we negotiating with these people when this is what they're up to? And of course, the Chief of Defence Intelligence at the time said, you may well ask, Minister. The fact is that we have known that these people have been intent on driving Israel into the Mediterranean Sea. They have been intent upon developing nuclear weapons. They have been intent upon spreading their vicious terrorist activity throughout the Western world and in the whole of the region. This is a very, very nasty regime. And I felt when I saw those people on the streets protesting that this was indeed a golden opportunity for the United States and us to take action to try to bring security to the Middle East, because there's no security at the moment.
It sounds as if you fully support the action that Donald Trump has taken. Do you think that Sir Keir Starmer should engage more? And if the end game is regime change, won't there then have to be a ground operation, boots on the ground? Could the UK get involved in that? And we didn't see that turn out too well at all, did we, in Libya, Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria?
Well, a number of ways. I mean, I do think that the Prime Minister has been a bit like Macbeth on this, willing to wound but afeard to strike. He has talked about the most abhorrent regime, but he's been also at pains to say, oh, the United Kingdom's had absolutely nothing to do with this. Well, one has to ask the question, why? Is this because he feels that he has a Muslim vote in the Labour Party that he doesn't want to upset?
He's been given legal advice. The legal advice is about the primacy of international law.
No, forgive me, Parliament. Parliament is the supreme legal authority in this country, not international law. And he's perfect. The trouble is the Prime Minister and his Attorney General and people like Philip Sands, they elevate international law above the interests of the people of the United Kingdom.
But do you not think, Sir Gerald, that the UK should abide by international law, to set an example to other regimes to do exactly that?
Yes, indeed, Karen. But you have to weigh the options, and the options is, do we stay our hand, or do we allow this repressive regime to threaten us, to threaten our interests, to threaten our allies in the way that it has done? No, this is a golden opportunity, which, if I can use the expression, trumps international law. So, insofar as it applies, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know if it does apply at all. But our interests have been threatened. Our ships have been attacked by the Houthis. We have the United States ships have been attacked. So, I think that there's every justification for doing this. But you do make an important point. Where does this lead? And as we look today, on Sunday morning at nearly 9 o'clock, it's very difficult to see exactly how this is going to pan out. But I do believe that having started this, the United States has got to see it through. What Trump is clearly hoping, President Trump is clearly hoping, is that those who've risen up on the streets so bravely in Tehran and elsewhere in Iran will now be emboldened that they will themselves get rid of the IRGC and these ghastly people who have subjected them to this oppression, and of course inflicted their damage on the region and the rest of the world. And so I think that's what he's relying upon. But
that's such a lot to ask those people, isn't it, when they have been terrified, 30,000 killed for daring to protest in January. And we know that the mullahs and the Revolutionary Guard are in total control of internal security. At least we think they still are.
Well, we do. That, of course, that is the $64,000 question at the moment. We do not know if they will remain in charge. We do not know the extent to which the opposition will rise up. And of course, we don't know the extent to which the opposition itself is united. There is a very real risk that there could be civil war in Iran. And I have no doubt that both the United States and Israel will have contemplated that potential outcome. I mean, we're in the foothills, I'm afraid, of this business. Yes. But it is very much an opportunity, as the President said. And I have to say, I do not, there's much I profoundly disagree with about this president, particularly on Ukraine, where I think he's behaved disgracefully, just as acting as Putin's mouthpiece. But on this issue, he has now got an opportunity to demonstrate that he can see a policy through. All this idea of doing things in 3 days, all this transactional stuff, that is not international diplomacy. That's not international affairs. What he has to do is show that he can follow up on these surgical strikes and bring about a lasting change in Iran, which will be of huge benefit to the people of Iran, the whole Middle Eastern region, and ourselves here in the United Kingdom. And
Sir Gerald, we have to bring this to a close now. In a sentence, should there be more military involvement from Britain, including troops? In a sentence,
yes,
very brief.
I think we should. Yes, I do think we should consider it. I mean, I think it's appalling that we were standing on ceremony and apparently denying access to United States Air Force bases at RAF Mildenhall here in the United Kingdom, and pretending somehow there's nothing to do with us. No, we should certainly consider it, but we're not at that stage yet, Caroline. What we have to do is see just where this is leading, but we need to give full support to the Americans and Israel in this cleansing operation to rid the world of one of the most grotesque, repellent regimes on the face of the earth.
Sir Gerald, thank you very much.